Rahmatullahi barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. We've been contacted by some people asking us, what do you think about Halloween in Saudi? It's haram. That's it. Salaam alaikum. Khalas. Bye bye. I mean, like, what do you want? You're going to say halal? Or you want something else?
Brother Shamsi is incorrect in his statement that Halloween in Saudi Arabia is only haram. It is kufr. It is far more severe than Brother Shamsi is playing down, and I wish to speak on this matter because I have a level of understanding that I think that the brother doesn't have. Samhain is the origination of Halloween. Samhain is a ceremony from Celtic pagan Ireland and northern Brittany and northern UK that existed around 2,000 years ago. Samhain is a pagan religious festival originating from the ancient Celtic spiritual traditions in modern times. Samhain, the Gaelic word, is usually celebrated from October the 31st to November the 1st to welcome the harvest and usher in the dark halves of the year. Celebrity believes that the barrier between the physical world and the spirit world breaks down during Samhain, allowing more interactions between humans and the descendants of the other worlds and their gods. Ancient Celts marked Samhain as the most significant of their 4 quarterly fire festivals, taking place at the midpoint between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. During the time of the year, hearth fires in the family homes were left to burn out whilst the harvest was gathered. After the harvest was completed, celebrations joined with Druid priests to light community fires under a wheel that would cause friction and spark flames. The wheel was considered to represent that of the sun and used alongside prayers. Cattle were sacrificed and participants took a flame from the communal bonfire back to their homes to relight their hearths. Early texts present Samhain as mandatory celebrations. Mandatory, listen to that word, my brothers and sisters in Islam, lasting 3 days and 3 nights, where the community were required to show themselves to the local kings, chieftains, and pagans. Failure to do so, pagan priests, failure to participate was believed to result in punishment from the gods, usually illness or death. There were also military aspects to Samhain in Ireland, with holiday thrones prepared for commanders of soldiers. Anyone who committed a crime or used their weapon during the celebration faced a death sentence. Some documents mention 6 days of drinking alcohol to excess, typically mead or beer, alongside with gluttonous feasts and much fornication. Brothers and sisters, Samhain is a pagan festival that is the root of Halloween in today's society that modern Saudi Arabia has engaged in, and this is clear kufr. There is no illusions, no misinterpretation, no misunderstandings. When you come to the basic understanding that Samhain is directly kufr in the eyes of Islam, you now realise what the Crown Prince and all of the royals of Saudi Arabia have effectively allowed to engage in the lands of our Prophet, peace be upon him. It should be under no surprise to any of you that I would stand against this. Now, this isn't that I've got a beef specifically with Brother Shamsi. I don't personally have a grievance with the man. I think he tries to do his best, but he lacks cultural understanding. Halloween is not just a celebration of trick or treat or of cultural refutation to appease Westerners. It is, at its root, Samhain. Samhain is the worship of pagan deities and otherworldly spirits. We can call them jinn, if you like, because that's probably what they were. Pay attention to this fact. The land of our Prophet is now inundated with pagan worship. And that's real. That's the brutal reality. But the fact that Brother Shamsi is lightening this problem is what I have an issue with. We all know the royal family of the Saudis are corrupt. We all know they are drunk on oil money. We all know they don't care about Islam. They clearly don't care about Islam. Because if they did, they would never have allowed that ceremony to go forward. Or the nightclubs that go on. Or the street parties. Or Quranic recitations on the same stage as pop music and festivals and drunken brawls and everything else that is going on in the lands of Saudi Arabia, the lands of our Prophet. We allow this to continue, it will erode our deen of Allah subhanahu. And as an Irishman and as a Muslim, I have to speak out on this, especially when it involves things like Halloween, which is more commonly known amongst my people as Samhain. The pagan festival is alive and well today. It is the worship of jinns, and basically Brother Shamsi is considering the worship of jinn spirits, the old gods of my people, to be only haram. Brother, how is it only haram? It's worshipping someone who is not Allah subhanahu. It is unquestionably kufr. Unquestionably. But you are big and quick to condemn many of my Muslim brothers and sisters who visit the graves of their families and who give praise towards our Prophet's birthday. But you're not so quick to start criticizing the Saudis and their royal family for the exemplary behaviour of pagan worship. And I would say I can speak as a point of authority as an Irishman and a Muslim. It doesn't take a great deal of intellect to work this out, Brother Shamsi. So my question is, what other agenda do you have? I continue with the Samhain mystics. One of the most popular Samhain stories told during the festival was the Second Battle of Magturid, which portrayed the final conflict between the Celtic pantheons known as the Tuatha Dé Danann, the Celtic gods, and their evil oppressors known as the Formia giants. The myth states that the battle unfolded over the period of Samhain. One of the most famous Samhain-related stories is The Adventures of Nera, in which the hero Nera encountered a corpse and fairies and entered into the other world. I would genuinely Islamically call that the jinn. Samhain figured into the adventures of mythological Celtic hero Fionn mac Cualainn when he faced the fire-breathing underworld dweller Aline, who would burn down the halls of Tara every Samhain. Samhain also figures into another Fionn mac Cualainn legend, where the hero is sent to the land beneath the waves, as well as taking place on Samhain. It features descriptions of the hero's holiday gatherings. Samhain in the Middle Ages. As the Middle Ages progressed, so did the celebration of the fire festivals. Bonfires known as Samhainigan, which were more personal Samhain fires near their farms, became a tradition, perpetrated to protect families from fairies, witches, and evil spirits. Carving turnips called jack-o'-lanterns began to appear, attracted by strings to stick an emblem with coal. Later Irish traditions switched to pumpkins. In Wales, men tossed burning woods at each other in violent games and set off fireworks. In Northern England, men paraded with noisemakers. Church Samhain. So this is the Christian church's adaptation of Samhain. As Christianity gained a foothold in pagan communities, church leaders attempted to reframe Samhain as a Christian celebration, where we quite clearly see their paganistical roots start to emerge. The first attempt was by Pope Bonifacius in the 5th century. He moved the celebration to May the 13th and specifically it as a day celebrating saints and martyrs. The fire festival of October and November, however, did not end with this decree. In the 9th century, Pope Gregory, so we're talking 1100 years ago now, moved the celebration back to the time of the fire festival, but declared it All Saints' Days on November the 1st. All Souls' Days would be followed on November the 2nd. Samhain merged with Halloween. Neither new holidays did away with the pagan aspect of the celebrations. In October the 31st became known as All Hallows' Eve or Halloween and continued much of the traditional pagan practice before being adopted in the 19th century Americas through Irish immigrants bringing their traditions across the ocean. And we can already draw correlation between the American migrants and the American expatriates that are in Saudi Arabia that has now allowed the infiltration of Samhain or All Hallows' Eve, which is a Christian pagan festival, let us be absolutely clear, moving into the land of our Prophet. Brother Shamsi, you are absolutely wrong in every aspect of what Halloween is. Halloween is not haram. And as bad as zina and drinking and engaging in haram activity is, Billah, I'm not condoning it, it is in no way, shape or form on par with kufr. This is a kufr ceremony. And Brother Shamsi, you are downplaying the kufr made by the royal family by degrading it to haram, by misleading people and misguiding them. And I fundamentally reject the term that it is only haram. It is not. This is coming from someone who knows where the roots of some wine come from. You seriously need to do more research, brother. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.